So it's Monday night, and I stopped here at Arvin. I had a load that was gonna be delivered tomorrow at 3 p.m. But the news is telling me that there's gonna be a big storm front coming in, and I need to avoid that at all costs. I'm probably not gonna be able to avoid it in Northern California, but at least going over the grapevine, I wanted to get over the grapevine before the storm hit. I may have to go over the grapevine on the way back, and hopefully it'll be a point where it's not going to cause any issues. And I don't even know if it's going to be icy or snow up there, but just to be safe, I started early, well, late at night on Monday, and I've shut down here. It's about midnight, and so I'm going to start up tomorrow again and get back on the road. I'm hoping that I have a good week and that they're not going to cut me short, and they're going to give me the miles, and I'm going to be able to maximize this week with in terms of how much distance I cover and how much pay I get. So yeah, started off this week with the threat of rain, and this is some of the rain that I dealt with. And then the skies cleared up for most of California anyway, and this is me driving through the Mojave Desert on the 58 heading towards Barstow. A lot of times we have to go this way because if you go down the 5 and to the 210, there's just way too much traffic at certain times of the day, and you'll just be sitting there and you'll be wasting fuel just sitting there. Then this is a shot of me heading towards Salt Lake City, but this is an area in north of Fontana and just south of the Cajon Pass. As you can see, it was pretty gloomy with a lot of rain, some fog. And then as you can see, as I worked past the Cajon Pass, everything started to clear up. Yeah, and then we had a beautiful clear sky. And for most of the drive up, it was very pleasant. It was good weather. So I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's off and on rain right now. It's kind of drizzling right now as I speak. So on the forecast in Utah, there's going to be off and on rain throughout the day, and then after 5 p.m. it's supposed to snow. So I need to get out of Dodge. It's about I don't know, like 9:40. I'm just sitting here waiting at a loading dock, waiting for them to unload me. So yeah, hopefully I can get out of here and avoid that snowstorm. The rain I don't mind too much, but any kind of ice or snow, it's going to be a problem. Still at the loading dock, and now it's coming down hard. Rain, 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 rain. And then now this is me starting to head out of Salt Lake City and coming back down, and had rain pretty much the whole time in the initial parts of this trip from Salt Lake City on. And then things start to clear up again. You can see the gradual transition here, and things cleared up, and by the time I got to here, Vegas, we're heading into Vegas anyway. This is northern Las Vegas, I guess, and you could see the skyline in the distance there. And then we had this scene here is me going up the first hill as I go from Nevada into California. And this is past the agricultural center and the way station and whatnot. But last week I showed a video of me driving through here, and it was filled with snow. But this warm front that came in and dumped a bunch of rain on us, I think got rid of all the snow. The warmer temperatures did anyway. So yeah, this was pretty much my driving for a chunk of the week. So all right, I had way too much Del Taco. I stopped at a truck stop. Let me see here. You see the big TA sign? Yeah, I stopped at a truck stop in Arizona, in between St. George, Utah and Nevada. It's a place called Littlefield, Beaver Dam. Anyway, this is a nice spot to stop at because there's so many places to park. I mean, for the amount of trucks that actually stop here, there's a lot of places to park. But it's Friday night. Yeah, this is how I spend my Friday nights. Yeah, and doing a reset before I shut down on Saturday. I still have about more or less about a little over 400 miles to drive tomorrow, and I'll be shutting down. So it'll be a good 5 days, almost a strong 5 days. So yeah, Friday nights in Arizona, gotta love it. So I had a lot of weird things happen this week, and it was kind of frustrating. And I had to remind myself, I need to elevate the quality in the relationships that I have, because some of us have had pasts where we can get really, I don't know, streetwise, ghetto, whatever you want to call it. Well, we could get mean, tough, down and dirty. We have the capacity to, but we choose not to because we know that the consequences aren't as good. It's not out of fear that you avoid confrontation, but it's more kind of wisdom. Like, you don't need to be the badass, you just choose to take the higher ground. So this is a thing that I want to tell you, is that elevate your relationships, elevate your interactions, elevate your quality of dialogue, and basically quality of life in a sense. Because we can be, crass and just in people's faces and confrontational and do what we need to do. That is not a sign of strength. Kind of like in reverse, it is a sign of bravery to a degree, but a little bit lacking wisdom, lacking foresight on some of the consequences that could happen because we acted a little bit more emotional than we wanted to, right? And the flip side is having the fear not to, So a lot of times people feel like getting confrontational is the opposite of not having fear. But it's not like that. It's more complicated. It's more, it's not one or the other. There's many facets to life. There's many directions we could choose. One is to get frozen in fear. The other is to get confrontational in rage. And the other is to say, I'm stronger than this. I could get in this person's grill and give them a piece of my mind. But the prudent thing to do is take a step back, assess the situation, and take the higher ground. And even beyond those three options, there's probably many, many other options. Some people get funny, witty. Some people sidestep. Some people shut down and get quiet and walk away because they know that whatever comes out of their mouth might be unfruitful. Anyway, my whole thing is elevate your quality of relationship. So, like, people start dating. They get pissed off. Initially, they get pissed off. They shut down or whatever. After a while, they get comfortable. They get pissed off. And then you start saying all the things that you don't mean to say, all the stuff that you regret. All the F-bombs drop, all the B words, D words, whatever words you want to say, they all come out. And later on, you realize, how do you recover from that? You left all these scars with each other. And you've lowered yourself to a level where, and this is the thing, is that you don't want to be lesser than, so you come out aggressive, But actually, it's a sign of weakness when you come out aggressive. I mean, you know what? Sometimes you have to come out aggressive, but it has to be measured. There's an appropriate time when you need to be assertive and aggressive. But many times when we act emotionally or come out strong when we shouldn't come out strong, you end up having regret. And you have unfortunate consequences. And that leads to less desirable outcomes, broken up relationships, things that you've hurt the other person and they're scarred, and then later on it comes back over and over again. Sometimes we hit below the belt because we want to be tough, or we want to be bigger than, or not even bigger than. We don't want to be lesser than, and we don't want to show that we have fear, or we're weak. And it's all nonsense. It's all like posturing, positioning. You know what? Whether we come out strong or not, that doesn't determine if we're weak or strong or good or bad. This is a thing that I think misleads a lot of people in their paths to relationships and, just self-mental health, I really believe that we as a people have to be comfortable being who we are. If we're strong in certain areas. Not everybody's strong in every area. Some people have fear of this, some people have fear of that. We all have our own individual insecurities and fears. That just means we're human, right? So I think one of the things is you don't hit below the belt. You don't degrade your counterpart or the people you care about. Even people you don't care about, even people you interact with, don't hit below the belt. It's not good. Nothing good is going to come out of it. There are times when people carry attitudes when they're flawed, I mean, strong attitudes, sometimes you have to, put them in their place. You have to say some stuff. But for the most part, if you have time with these people, a lot of grace, a lot of patience, and a lot of just pointing in the right direction, by your actions, sometimes with your words, but mostly by your actions, helps these people to go the right direction, helps people to fix themselves, hopefully. Now, the flip side is enabling these people to be toxic. You don't want to enable them to be toxic. So sometimes you got to know how to gently put the brakes on. But anyway, the thing that I wanted to talk about is don't lower the quality of your relationships by getting down and dirty. You know what I mean? By getting crass, by getting aggressive in ways that you're going to regret. Elevate your relationship. If you get to a heated moment and you see yourself compromising your values or compromising the way that you want to treat somebody or the way that you want to be treated, it's time to step back. It's time to kind of isolate yourself for a little bit and take a deep breath and refocus, because you're too charged up. But anyway, like when you start dating, when you get married, when you're hanging out with people that are close to you, it's easy to get into that mode of just being disrespectful and just getting crass and getting aggressive with each other. And sometimes it's joking, and once in a while joking is okay, but for the most part, when you get into arguments or when you get into heated confrontations, those are gateways to even elevate it even to that next level and the level after that. And this is when you start seeing things get really out of hand. People getting separated, divorced, people not being friends anymore, people disowning each other, siblings severing their ties with other family members. And it's just, you know what? Take the higher ground, have more patience, and elevate the quality of your relationships. And when you dialogue with people, dialogue with them with respect, even when you're upset. Sometimes there is a gap between the decision makers and the people that are actually doing the work. And I want to talk about when I was in my previous company, there was a situation where key decision makers thought they were spoiling the employees by giving them the latest tech. I was pushing for our boots on the ground people to have the best technology, or not even the best, but at least current technology, so that they are not delayed by that circle that keeps hanging because you're waiting for something to load or connect, or you know what I mean. And that's all. When I was in management for my team, that's all just wasted hours. People sitting there, not being able to work because they're waiting for their tech, whether it's a tablet or a computer. They're just waiting. This is all money out the door. People don't understand that. They just think that these decision makers, a lot of times they think that, whoa, why are we getting them such expensive stuff? They don't want to invest that extra little bit per tablet or computer to make the workers more efficient. Now, if the workers are more efficient, the amount of time, you can just calculate the amount of time that they're waiting for their tech, having this wheel spin the whole time. You add that up 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, that's all money. They should be doing work, but they're just sitting there waiting. And because they don't want to spend that extra $100 to $200, $300, whatever it was per, unit, maybe it's budgetary constraints, I don't know. But at the end of the day, you save money in the front and you lose it all in the back, So this is just one example of how decision makers can affect the boots on the ground people, This week, I had a situation where I went and shut down at a location, and then they redirected me. They said, I can't be in there. And they redirected me to another location. And some of these people making these decisions, they don't understand what it's like to do your reset, when you shut down for 10 hours at a certain location. I mean, the bare minimum we need is a faucet with running water, and a decent bathroom. We have to wash up. I don't know how they do it. They just expect, oh yeah, they got a porta potty, outhouse, they should be fine. It's not like that. Another thing too is they sent me to a location where there's a train track right behind my truck. And I went to the yard jockey and I said, hey, can I park farther away from the train track? They're like, no, you could only park next to the train track. The other places, they're for the trailers and containers. So luckily the insulation on the truck was, pretty good. But I'm talking, the wee hours of the night, right behind your truck. And so those are the things that we have to deal with. But this is what I'm saying, is that sometimes people come out so assured and strong, instead of just
getting feedback from us drivers sometimes, hey, you know what? This place is no good. It's not like we want to be difficult. It's not like we want to be like spoiled or pampered. It's not like we're staying at a 4-star hotel. We're telling you this yard is not a good yard to park at overnight because XYZ. And hopefully they get it. But a lot of times, some of these people, they don't have the actual trucking experience. Instead of dialoguing with the drivers and figuring out what works and what doesn't, they automatically assume that this is a great idea for the drivers, and boom, direct us to that location, direct us to do this, direct us to do that, and they come out strong. I mean, not all of them. Some of them make these decisions, but most of them, they have truck driving experience and they know. But some people don't. But they're making these decisions anyway. That was one of the frustrations from the beginning of the week. So
I want to ask you guys something. Why do people do what you tell them to do? I'm talking about if you're a manager and you've got a lot of subordinates under you. I'm talking about if you're a parent and you've got kids that listen to you. I'm talking about if you're in a place of authority or a place where you are responsible for a situation or other people. Do people listen to you because they have to or because they want to? Now, this is a very interesting question because you know what? Even in my faith, God doesn't force people to love him. He gives us a choice. And the people that obviously don't love him, they're going to go somewhere they will probably regret later. But the people that do choose to love him, there's a certain sense of beauty about that, right? Like, I'm choosing you even though I could have all of this other stuff, But if you force somebody to love you, it's kind of ugly. They don't have a choice, right? Now, when it comes to life, don't force people. There's a beauty when there's a decision that is made that, hey, I want to be with you. I want to be in this with you. There's a beauty about it, right? But when you have to force your child, force your spouse, force your boyfriend, girlfriend, and you know that you're in control, you're the alpha, whatever BS that's going on in our lives. Because we have BS in our lives, right? But at the end of the day, there's a beauty when everybody says, hey, I want to be a part of that. I want to do that. I want to be with you. Let's do it together. Did you ever think about that? Doing things together because everybody wants to? Instead of having a management position or having a position of authority and saying, you need to do this because I say so. Or you tell your kids because daddy said so. How many times have you heard that, right? But at the end of the day, what if they're in alignment with the people that are the decision makers, that are the people in authority? Crazy thought, right? Like, hey, I want to be a part of that. That's brilliant. That's great. I align with that. I want to be a part of that. Think about that. There's a beauty in that.
what's going on, my people? So this week I drove to NorCal and back, and then to Salt Lake City and back, and that was pretty much my week. Ended the week on Saturday. Within 5 days, 4.5 days, 5 days, I got in about 2,000 plus miles. Not the best of weeks, but it was actually decent because I got a longer weekend. Still made at least the minimum that I want to make each week. So all in all, not too much drama. We had weather drama, as you saw in the video earlier, and load drama. But other than that, it's just a normal week in trucking. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you for following me on this journey. If you're a driver, stay safe out there. Peace. God bless you. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.